Hi everyone, Chris from Divine Key, spelled QI, here with just a chat. Um, I haven't been on in a while, and forgive the trademarking of the Manicam. It's a new system I'm trying out that allows me to switch views. So, having said that, I just want to welcome everybody. Thanks for dropping in and seeing what's going on at the Divine Key Academy. I'm going to switch views to the view from my couch, and I'm going to let you just watch the clouds go by while I talk. Nobody wants to really look at a talking head, so I haven't been on in a long time. Got a lot of stuff going on. I've been struggling physically, as some of you may know, and so I just wanted to um, drop in and talk about some stuff. You know, there's a lot of things. I have so many topics to talk about um, when we come to spiritual things. And I've tried it in different ways. And, I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert, not a guru. I don't have all the fancy equipment. I have my laptop and my phone that I'm recording this with. But I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters that I'm not perfect because really I just want to share information. So if you're interested in what I'm doing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That does help. And drop in often and see what new topics we're talking about. I may go live. I may open up a Zoom connection where I can get feedback from other people. But for right now, I just really want to talk about some stuff. So, lots of stuff is changing in the world right now. This is post COVID, post pandemic, and whenever you were watching this, living through a pandemic was very interesting. And it seems like yesterday, and yet it's been 5 years since the pandemic happened. So, in having said that, people have a different view of things. They have different ideas on how things should happen. I want to stick to the things that interest me. So, starting off, the thing I want to start with is beliefs. So, often in the spiritual community, um, phrases come up like, well, you have to believe it. Once you believe it, if you imagine it to be true, it will be true. Or what do you believe in? So many things. Now, be clear, this is not religion. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about spirituality. So this transcends the religions. This encompasses the religions. Many religions have commonalities that weave through what is being spoken about. So when I'm talking about belief, I'm not talking about religious belief. I'm talking about belief in your humanness, belief in your core being. And that's really what I want to talk about. When someone says, what do you believe? It's not a thought. It's not a logical thing. It's not you can check the boxes off and say these things are, you know, pros and cons on my list. It really comes down to when we talk about what do you believe? What do you believe comes down to an inner knowing in your core system, in your core body. So if you never allow yourself quiet, and if you never allow yourself a chance to really hear that inner voice, and when I say inner voice, I'm talking about your higher self, your guardian angels, your guides, God, spirit, the universe, cosmos. Those are words. Those are names that we as humans apply to what I'm talking about. I prefer to use higher self is a good word to use. Source, spirit, those are words that I often use. Um, but whatever you're comfortable with, that's the word you should use. When you quiet, when you're not asking, when you're not telling, when you're just quiet. And often people will call this meditation. It doesn't have to be meditation. Again, that's just a label that we assign to something that we as humans do. Meditation has a lot of hangups for some people. They're like, I can't meditate, I can't sit in silence, I can't, it's too hard, I get confused. And then you have guided meditation, which is a whole different ballgame. But what I'm talking about is just sitting and allowing yourself to really hear the information that your soul wants you to hear. When I say that, so this is the view from my couch, and it's my favorite place to sit and listen to my soul. I can, it's an ever-changing view because the clouds will change, the trees will change, and there's peace in that for me. So I'm very happy that I'm able to have this view that allows me to calm. I often say when I'm talking to my coaching clients, or anyone when I'm talking about spirituality, that the most spiritual people that I come across are the ones who can sit in some place like Grand Central Station, sit in the middle of the chaos of a large group, and still be able to hear that inner conversation with their soul. Many of us can go through the ritual of having a specific place, a room or a corner in our house that has, candles and music and incense, dim lights and tapestry and cushions and whatever else it is that we require to get into the space where we can enter our stillness. And then, even then, many of us struggle with entering the stillness. But with practice, and it is a muscle in a sense, it is a practice. And with practice, and with becoming to understand yourself, you can enter that stillness. And you can quiet the thoughts, the thinking, the figuring out. And you can hear what your soul wants you to know. I enter that practice often when I'm doing my work. My work being, I read tarot and I read runes and I do Reiki. And to be able to do that to the best of my ability, I do enter that stillness. And having read tarot for 40, 50 some years, I've learned, and through other things, I've also taken, I was part of a group for mediumship for a while, and through all the different things I've done, I've learned how to step in and out of that stillness at will. So everything doesn't have to be perfect for me to enter that stillness, and I can step out of it and have a conversation in a human way, and then drop, as I call, drop back into center, dropping back into that stillness to receive messages again. And I'm not saying messages from departed loved ones. That's mediumship. And sometimes I can do that, but that's not the whole of what I'm speaking of here. This is a spiritual journey that I'm talking about, a spiritual connection where you can step in and out of the hearing of your own soul. I invite you. I invite you to try it. Set a timer for 10 minutes. And it should be longer, but set a timer for 10 minutes and see if you can quiet the words in your head for 10 minutes and just hear the words in your soul. That often, the words in my soul don't sound like someone talking to me. whole phrases will drop in, imagery will drop in. It's a language unto itself, and it's unique to each person. And the only way you can learn that language is to practice it. The only way to learn how to speak to soul is to practice it. So I invite you to come in and hear yourself. Hear what your soul has to say to you. Ask questions if you want before you begin the process, but also enter it with the sense of, what is it that I need to know? Just be open to receiving the information. And I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to continue the conversation. So this is just a beginning. This is just the very first one I'm doing. I have other things I want to talk about, but when I started with belief, and when I speak about belief, it's not what has been proven to you that you believe to be true, not what you see and necessarily can physically interact with to believe, but it is, what do you have within yourself as an inner knowing that you know to be true. You just know. And yes, I often say, because I'm trained as a scientist, I often say, seek the evidence, right? Seek the evidence of what it is you believe to be true. And you will find evidence. But over the years, I don't know that you need the evidence. There's a definitive sense within your human body that will let you know a truth from a non-truth if you allow and if you listen. So this is a pretty short video. I'm just beginning. I may leave it up. I may take it down. I may redo it. I don't know. But I'm trying to really just have conversation about spirit. And I've tried to gather people in person. It's not really worked the way I thought it would. I tend to really connect in depth one-on-one with people, or in very tiny groups of maybe 2 or 3. So I'm trying this to reach a larger audience, to have a bigger conversation, to really have questions. Like, I hope this finds those people who have questions. I hope my videos entice the people who have questions to ask me those questions so we can have a conversation. And if you have different beliefs, of course you will. You're a different person than I am. It is a given that every single person's belief will be slightly different than another person's. But there are commonalities. Just as there are commonalities across religions, there are commonalities throughout that weave through everyone's belief system. So anyway, this is just the beginning. I'm going to see how many more videos I want to do. I want to see how it works. And I hope to connect to those seekers out there, like myself, who know this journey is exciting and are curiously optimistic about what the future holds. So I hope this gets you thinking, and be well. We'll talk to you again soon. I'm going to switch back to me. There we go. Be well. This is Chris from Divine Key, and we'll chat with you the next time you are here. Bye.